We left Tucky Mill Cottages because my father was put in charge of the Pullers Earthworks, and we moved to a larger house called Tucky Mill House. There was a large estate attached to the works and to the house. It was largely on the northern hillside of the hamlet and covered with shrub, small trees, and grass. There was plenty of land on the lower slopes where we tried to grow vegetables. Father never bothered to put any organic material in the impoverished soil. Although there was plenty of leaf mold available, none was ever used. I did collect some road scrapings of horse manure with the aid of my two-wheeled truck and coal shovel. I don't even remember what plants were nourished by it. I still have a vivid recollection of a narrow strip of garden by the works, ash heap. Along its centre was planted 8 splendid-looking apple trees. They were over 20 feet high, and their branches reached out 6 feet all round. The fruit that they bore were miniature and sour and uneatable and uncookable. Under these trees, Father would persist in planting potatoes. These had to compete with the apple tree roots that groped everywhere for a vestige of nutriment, as well as dog's mercury that managed to cover the ground with its greenery, creating more roots to feed. The potatoes grew at first while there was food in the tuber, but afterwards very slowly to produce very small young potatoes about the size of marbles. In a dry season, the potato plant died very quickly, but the dog mercury lived on, although stunted, putting down seed for a future generation. It was my chore on Saturday to remove the dog's mercury, which was very reluctant to leave the soil, and I was very reluctant to remove it, and usually slooped off after half an hour's futile labour. All the fathers at Tucky Mill endeavoured to raise crops from their bit of garden to augment their weekly budget, but none of them seemed to be very good at it. When I went to school at Coombe Down, at the age of 11 years, Friday's afternoon garden session kindled a little interest in me, especially when I found that things would grow if treated properly. We called our headmaster Boss Collins, for he was a bit strict. It was he that took the gardening class. There was a collection of neat plots between Coombe Down Church and the infant school. The boys in the class were paired up, one senior and one junior to each plot. To my surprise, I was made the senior, and a friend of mine by the name of Austin was the junior. The junior had to do the menial tasks, like hand weeding, while the senior used the Dutch hoe. When the potatoes needed lifting, the senior did the digging, and the junior picked up the potatoes. Our plot was one of the best on view. The main reason was that I had a good stock of beans and pea sticks from the Tucky Mill estate, while the others had to make do with old rotten ones from the previous year. Austin and I became so keen to succeed that we actually carried liquid manure during the summer holidays up the hill in a stoppered can to nourish the parsnips. After all our efforts, we came second in the examination, but only failing on the written material. Father did not seem to grow very much on the Tucker Mill House estate, but he still hung on to his allotment. The soil here was quite good. All it needed was an annual application of farmyard manure. This was available as there were several farms around, but Father never seemed to have any money to spare for such a commodity.